So, okay, now before going much into the detail, I hope you are aware about the few concepts discussed in the first two lectures. So, we can begin with the concepts of data, database, then how data is related to other aspects, information and knowledge, and how basically we can derive the knowledge level of detail from beginning from data. Right, that's one part which I have discussed with CSA. Lecture 1, Lecture 2 basically covers or continue the concepts of data to database and to database system, and because we are talking about system now, so we have covered two other concepts. First concept basically how we can understand or define or maybe spot that this data is big data, right? So for that we have taken three dimensions. So suppose if you have a data in your drive or maybe anywhere, you have captured or you have generated. So there are few dimensions based on which you can easily identify that this data is of big data type, big data nature, right? So I say big data is not a type of data; it is something in a higher in the scale. So that scale may be a volume of the data which you have curated, collected, or generated. It may be a velocity, means the speed, the speed which data is generated. The third dimension we have considered. Suppose you are having a system, and system is generating multiple types of data. So same structure. So that's why we have discussed this concept, types of data. So it is structured, semi-structured, and unstructured, right? So primarily there are three dimensions based on which you can easily identify that something which you have generated, something which your system has generated, is of nature big, right? So big is kind of complement, right? So whenever we are having this big term attached to the data, it means there might be one dimension or two dimensions are attached with that. So we have taken one typical example of Gmail to explain, to understand how something is not so big, but for application it could be a big, right? So like for in case of Gmail, a file of 30 MB or 35 MB is a big because of its size. Because Gmail service is not able to send that file, so that's why we have new application called Google Drive or Google Drive, sharing through Drive. So now this 30 MB file is not a big data for G Drive. So likewise, big data is not it's a global truth. It is it depends on the application which you are creating or which you have created. So it will also, because each and every software is having some kind of limitation when it deals with the data, right? So we have discussed that part now. Then we have taken the definition of database system. So we have referred to a database system as a system basically which has data as a component inside it, right? So in the database system, this term database system basically outlines or consists of other elements also, which will have hardware, some system softwares, and naturally there will be a database which is kept in, which might be kept into a hard drive or server or maybe anything, right? So when we say database system, it will always consist of 3-4 elements, right? So that we will be discussing tomorrow, today actually, not tomorrow, basically along with it we have taken one term which is called DBMS. So database management system, or you can say database management software, right? So DBMS term is basically it is a cosmetic term which explains that to perform anything related to data or perform anything on data, we need a software or we have a software which provides interfaces to the user, interfaces to other system. They will interact with DBMS and pose request on data, right? So whenever you are performing something on the stored data, you will be contacting or interacting with DBMS, right? Because it is always convenient to interact with DBMS. Like in case of uh, your laptop or PC, in the early days, actually, we do not have this kind of Windows-based operating system. So it is difficult to interact with a laptop, not laptop. It is difficult to interact with desktop because they are having this DOS, DOS, yeah, command prompt based interaction. So So for very simple or basic actions, you need to perform some commands, right? So it was little difficult to use a desktop those days. So now we have these Windows-based operating systems. There we are having this interface where we only mouse to interact with to perform any simple tasks. Likewise, without DBMS also we can interact or we can retrieve the data. But DBMS provides proper interfacing to the user, proper interfacing to other systems, so that they can easily interact with database, which is kept inside the system, right? So when I say database system, it consists of database, a database or database server, some hardwares, and interface, right? So one thing we have discussed in the previous class, that there will be some kind of query language, right? Now again, language is something which you are familiar with, programming language, right? So SQL is again a programming language for the data, not for creating some algos, some pseudocode, right? So that's why it is called query language. It is to query, it is to ask something from database, it is to retrieve something from database, right? So each and every DBMS will have a SQL or a query language. Like in case of Oracle, we have SQL, structured query language, जिसको आप lab में भी implement करेंगे, next week से जब discuss करेंगे हम. So SQL is one query language which is configured in a data DBMS software which is designed by Oracle company, right? There might be some other query languages for different other DBMS softwares. Like in case of IBM DB2, they are having different query language, right? So that is obvious also. But query language is basically created or designed only to perform these external tasks on the database, right? So अभी हम क्या डिस्कस करेंगे कि we have discussed system database, we have discussed system database system. Now we will take one typical example to understand how actually this database system or maybe the database is arranged actually. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि एक सिंपल ब्लॉक होगा, एक सिंपल प्रोग्राम होगा जिसमें चीजें स्टोर हैं, चीजें अरेंज हैं. There are proper hierarchical arrangement, right? Like in case of TCP. So I think example हमने क्लास में डिस्कस किया था जब हम आपके साथ सेकंड सेमेस्टर में आए थे. First semester, not second semester. That whenever you're sending a simple email, it is going through various layers, right? So like in our Gmail, we used to type something. So we used to enter this ID for the person, message, the subject thing is there, and its content in the actually mail content actually, right? So whenever we submit this mail or click on send button, this simple mail will basically going through various layers of communication, right? There are ideally 7 layers. So top में आपका Gmail service है. So Gmail is basically configured on the top layer, which is called application layer. उसके बाद नीचे जो अलग-अलग layers हैं, उनमें कुछ न कुछ चीजें ऐड होती हैं आपकी इसी मेल्स के साथ, मेल मैसेज के साथ, and it is basically going through these 7 layers, and then it goes to the internet actually, जहाँ से communication होगा. Then again, when it reaches to certain destination जहाँ आपने mail send किया, it will again go through these 7 layers again, but it is upwards, right? It is like zipping unzipping. So eventually जो आपका जो receiver है, उसके पास भी mail service है, Gmail है, उसके पास केवल वही top में दिखेगा content जो हमने किया, right? So basically these layers are having some kind of zipping effect, जो कुछ न कुछ ऐड कर रही हैं और वो मैसेज को कन्फाइन कर रही हैं, abstract कर रही हैं, so that वो destination में जाके अगेन वो unzip होगा, open होगा, right? तो ये आप लोग पढ़ेंगे नेटवर्क्स सब पढ़ रहे हैं नेक्स्ट सेमेस्टर में, तो आपको इसके क्योंकि पूरा जो डेटा कम्युनिकेशन है वो इसी बेसिक थ्योरी में बेस्ड है, इज कॉल्ड टीसीपी/आईपी प्रोटोकॉल. तो वैसे ही जब हम डेटाबेस की बात कर रहे हैं तो डेटाबेस में भी वी आर हैविंग few layers, right? लेकिन क्योंकि आपको चीज पता है, जैसे आप अगर आपके पास SBI का बैंक अकाउंट है तो उसमें हमें जो डिटेल दिख रही है हमारे अकाउंट की डिटेल, जैसे हम लॉगिन करते हैं फिर उसमें अकाउंट डिटेल्स दिखते हैं, बहुत सारी हमारी इन्फॉर्मेशन दिखती है, बहुत सारे हम ऑपरेशंस करते हैं. So this interface is only for us, for the users. Whatever data we are having on our interface of SBI will not be kept in this form actually. जिस फॉर्म में आपको दिख रहा है डिटेल वो डिफरेंट फॉर्म में होगा सर्वर के अंदर. So the database server it is having these detail but in the different presentation in the different arrangements, right? So इस तरीके से whenever we are submitting a simple query, what is the balance of my account, your request will be going through one or two transformation. तो हम कहते हैं ना कि जो हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज से लो लेवल लैंग्वेज है उसका पर्पस यही है. हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज इज फॉर अस which can be easily readable by us. So any instruction which we have defined on ATM to check the balance, any instruction which we have defined into your net banking profile to perform something, उसके behalf में एक instruction defined है और वो instruction map होता है फिर जाके वो database server से interact करता है. So there are few layers involved into it, right? So we will be discussing about this simple concept which is called in database which is called data independence, right? So data independence, so data is there, so data term तो वही जो हम पहले करते आ रहे हैं पहले लेक्चर से. Now independence is something is important and sometimes students often confuse with this term independence, that independence is similar to abstraction. Now I hope abstraction is clear. So I am posting a simple question and you can reply on the chat box. How do you see abstraction? What is abstraction? Simple words में क्या होता है? And the time अभी आप answers post करेंगे. I am switching my camera as well as my mic also. So from now I will not able to hear you, but I can read your comments, right? So take your time and post the reply of the question. What is abstraction? Right? Let's take 1 minute for that. Okay, that's good. So now posting everything. Okay, students are posting question answers, hiding unnecessary details from the user, hiding certain details from showing others, showing the abstraction is hiding of non-essential information, showing only relevant information. Okay, to reduce something to essential characteristic by removing certain details. Okay, so it is about hiding, right? That's one keyword which is important. That we are talking about hiding something, right? Now. Okay, I'm going to the blackboard. So I hope it is stable and readable to you, and you can confirm that whether I am audible to you or not. One or two students may confirm because I have removed the eye. So anyone can confirm if I am sufficiently audible, and it is important that the screen should be clearly visible to you, right? Yes, sir. Okay. Great. So now we have raised a question about abstraction. Right. So abstraction is there. Now, why I am writing this term? Because it is considered as analogous to term data independence. Right, data is there. It is independent. What is the relevance of this term? That you should be clear of. So one thing which we have discussed, that in the database, whenever we are keeping something on the hard drive, and here when we pose a query, right, on a GUI, some GUI, it will go through few transformation or maybe few layer, right? So it is again getting blurred. I don't know why. Okay, it might be because of lighting effect. I don't know if it is because of that. Okay, now it is stable. So whenever we are sending, it is readable to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Confirm, one or two students can confirm this. It is readable to you or not? Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. That's it. One or two students are sufficient to post a reply. Some are to post each and everyone. Now, whenever we supply a query from certain kind of interface, this simple query. So because this is not a query. So whenever we perform some operation on ATM, it is not a query. It is an operation, user operation, right? And that user operation will be submitted into the system or through interface, and will now transform into query. And this query will again get to the compiler or maybe the query processor, and it will perform some kind of transformation to that query, this query, and then send it to the database or database server. Now again, when we say this query or this simple user action will be going through one or two transformation, and why in the return, when we requested by this, suppose by this action we have requested something from the database server, and while returning the data to the user, again this data is kept in the hard drive in some different form, in some different data structure. It will again go through, while coming back to the user, while coming back to the user, it will again go through few transformations, right? So now we are having this kind of arrangements in the database system. We will be performing two transformations. One transformation on the query side, whenever we are submitting a query to the database system, and the second kind of transformation performed on the data while providing the data to the user, right? So we will be performing various transformations. That's one part which is important to understand, to take care of. So basically there is another term which is called schema, and it is coming from term scheme. Schema or scheme represents basically representation of data, right? So whenever I say schema, it means it is referring to the representation of data. Like in the top layer, user is simple posting or performing a simple action, right? But once this action has been transformed into query, then query again goes through some transformation. So there are some rules, there are some guidelines to transform this input to this to this, so likewise, right? So there are some protocols that based on which you can transform a query into different transformation, and while returning the data to the user, again you are extracting something from your hard drive, again transforming it to various intermediate transformation, and eventually gives some data to the user in the form which user can read, easily understand, right? Otherwise, अगर आप यहाँ पर अपने अमाउंट या अकाउंट की अमाउंट डिटेल को देखेंगे, it might be looking like some kind of garbage value. But यही ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होगा जब मशीन लैंग्वेज से या कि मशीन कोड फॉर्म से आपके रियल फॉर्म में, तो वो एक प्रॉपर एक अमाउंट दिखेगा जो रुपीस के फॉर्म में, राइट? So that's why we need to perform some kind of, so transformation करने का पर्पस केवल यही है। और हम ये कह रहे हैं कि schema basically defines the representation of data right? So here representation is different. Here representation is different because whatever we kept in the database server, it is in the different form of representation, right? So in any database system will have three schema representation. It is referred as a three schema representation. Three schema. Let's make as architecture, right? So let's clear it. The independence concept will be there in between the discussion. So let's take three schema. So means in the database system we have three ways of representing anything, right? So let's begin by the top layer. So on the top we will be having something, and there is this separation. There is this separation, right? So on the bottom, if it is visible, okay, on the bottom we will have naturally a database server or database storage. So it will be a hard drive or it will be a server, DB server, right? That's obvious. On the top layer, we will have some kind of interface. So let's make as GUI or views, anything on which user can perform or submit query. That's obviously. So here we will let's make it user action and let's draw user, right? And this basically this whole area referred as a you can move down as an external view or schema. Now we are using a schema term. Schema means we need some kind of representation of your data. We need some kind of representation for user query. So like in the top, जहाँ user available रहेगा, user जिससे interact करेगा system से, उसके लिए element बनाने पड़ते हैं. जैसे in case of ATM we need to define different kind of GUI. In case of net banking we need to define different kind of GUI. So on the top layer, which is called external schema, is external representation of data. उसके लिए आपको नए तरीके से आपको create करना होता है, right? Now these two views or query will be sent to this middle layer, right? And this bottom is referred as a internal view or schema, right? Because I am saying whatever we are have in this database system or server, it will have some kind of representation. अगर आपका hard drive जो है क्योंकि server कोई data structure use कर रहा है तो उसका अपने representation का वे data को कैसे store करेगा, उसको कैसे represent करेगा. So that's why we are following some kind of representation of data in this hard drive. So we are referring that as the internal view or internal scheme of the data. Now there is something in between, right? So I hope you can anticipate that जब यहाँ पर यूजर का इंटरफेस है, केवल एप्लीकेशन इंटरफेस है, तो और बॉटम में डेटाबेस सर्वर है, डेटाबेस एक्चुअली स्टोर्ड है, जबकि और कुछ छोटे-छोटे डेटाबेस स्टोर्ड हैं जो कि केवल स्टोरेज का काम करते हैं. They are having only this kind of arrangement where we can store various other things. डेटा एक्चुअली डेटा तो यहाँ स्टोर होगा, उसके बाद कुछ ऑपरेशनल बैकअप स्टोर होते हैं यहाँ, आर्काइविंग के लिए कुछ सपोर्ट के लिए हुआ, यूजर का डेटा यहाँ स्टोर होगा. सो all the basically storage elements, storage entities are kept in the bottom layer. That is for sure, right? And here we will be having some kind of compilers, preprocessor, optimizer, जो यूजर क्वेरी को लेंगे और उसको वैलिडेट चेक करेंगे, सिंटेक्स ठीक है नहीं है, उसमें पैरामीटरिंग ठीक है कि नहीं है, उसके बाद then it will go for some kind of pre-processing, then it is submitted to the actually basically actual processing. So let's make as compiler, that is first obvious element, that will go to some kind of query preprocessor, right? And again we'll go to, let's make as a DB database it's not query processor. It is, let's precisely write, it is a runtime query processor, right? So it will be something here and it will forward the query to the database query processor. It will fetch the data, right? So we'll go through this way. So similarly, while coming back, it will go to this will goes to here and it will be like something. Again, we'll go through these elements. So we have three layers, three views, and this is called sometimes it is called conceptual or logical view or schema, right? So this layer is referred as a conceptual logical view, conceptual logical schema, right? So why we are referring this middle term as a conceptual and logical? Logical and conceptual are coming from, these two terms are coming from the background that whenever we conceptualize the type or the size or the basic representation of data. So जैसे अगर आपको कहना है कि स्टूडेंट का डेटा रिकॉर्ड करना है, मुझे क्लास में जो CSE में स्टूडेंट हैं, तो उनको मैं किस तरीके से रिकॉर्ड करूँगा? There will be name, first name, last name, then other things are there. So whenever we are actually creating the database, first step of that is to create the conceptual view. Database कैसा दिखेगा, उसमें क्या टेबल्स होंगे, उसके बाद उसको हम इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं, राइट? सो जो भी आप डेटाबेस क्रिएट करेंगे, डेटाबेस क्रिएट करने की बात कर रहा हूँ, डेटा स्टोर करने की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ उसमें. So whenever we are trying to design a database, the very first is to create its conceptual view. वो अगले हम लेक्चर्स में देखेंगे कैसे डेटाबेस क्रिएट करेंगे. So whenever we are trying to create a design a database actually for use, the very first step is to create its conceptual schema, conceptual view वो दिखेगा कैसे, उसमें attributes कौन-कौन से होंगे, उसमें columns क्या होंगे और conditions क्या होंगे उसके ऊपर. So that first image of any database is referred as a conceptual view, right? और उसी conceptual view को हम जब complete design कर लेते हैं और complete use कर लेते हैं, तो it is called logical schema or logical view, right? क्योंकि जब आप कहते हैं कि मैं टेबल का layout draw कर रहा हूँ, layout design कर रहा हूँ, इस फॉर्म में डेटा बेस बनेगा और इसमें डेटा वैल्यू स्टोर होंगी. So that outline is referred as a logical or conceptual view of the data, right? जो आप स्टोर करने वाले जिस नंबर उसके अंदर, तो ये हम लैब्स में भी देखेंगे बेसिकली. तो अगर आप इस तरीके से समझो कि डेटाबेस जो हम बात कर रहे हैं क्रिएट करने की, डेटाबेस डिजाइन करने की बात कर रहे हैं, वी आर कीपिंग दोज इमेजेस हियर एंड हियर. यहाँ पर एक्चुअल डेटाबेस स्टोर हो रहा है, ये हार्ड ड्राइव या हार्डवेयर की बात कर रहा है. हियर वी आर हैविंग दिस हार्ड ड्राइव और सर्वर्स जिसमें डेटा स्टोर होगा, राइट? और यहाँ पर हम कह रहे हैं कि उसका इसी डेटाबेस का जो डेटाबेस यहाँ स्टोर हुआ एक्चुअली हार्ड ड्राइव में, उसी का एक कंसेप्चुअल इमेज यहाँ रेडी होगा, यहाँ पे डेफिनेशन स्टोर अवेलेबल होगा कंपाइलर के पास. तभी तो होगा ना, कंपाइल का रोल और क्वेरी प्रोसेसर का रोल ही यही होगा कि जब आपकी क्वेरी सबमिट होगी तो कंपाइलर और प्री प्रोसेसर यही चेक करेगा कि जो आपने क्वेरी करी है वो डेटाबेस सर्वर में डेटा में वो टेबल है या नहीं है, वो डेटा का इंस्टेंस है या नहीं है. तो अगर हम सोच रहे हैं कि पूरा डेटाबेस यही रखा हुआ है, पूरा उसके जो भी प्रिंट्स या इंस्टेंसेस होते हैं, तो आप यहाँ इनका नीड ही नहीं है, फिर दैट ईयर क्वेरी सेंड कर सकते हो. बट ऐसा नहीं है. तो डेटाबेस सिस्टम का अरेंजमेंट ये है, वो मिडिल लेयर में वी आर कीपिंग these compilers and query processor, and these two elements will be interacting with a temporary storage to validate कि जो आपकी क्वेरी आपने सबमिट की है, उस क्वेरी में जो डेटा इंस्टेंस या डेटाबेस टेबल या डेटाबेस सर्वर यूज हो रहा है वो एक्चुअली में यहाँ स्टोर है कि नहीं. So for that we need to store the definition of your database table here, and these are called metadata. ये होगा, ये भी तरीके का स्टोरेज है और इसको हम मेटाडेटा टेबल या मेटाडेटा डेटाबेस कह सकते हैं. समटाइम्स इट इज कॉल्ड एज अ एलोकेशन स्कीमा. एलोकेशन स्कीमा मतलब ये है कि इस स्टोरेज में हमारे पास ये इंफॉर्मेशन स्टोर है कि एक डेटाबेस में कौन सा टेबल, अगर हम कहते हैं कि स्टूडेंट रिकॉर्ड है, फैकल्टी रिकॉर्ड है, सब्जेक्ट रिकॉर्ड है और उन सबकी एक डेटाबेस टेबल क्रिएटेड है, तो यहाँ पर एलोकेशन स्कीमा में हमें क्या पता होगा कि स्टूडेंट टेबल, पोस्ट टेबल, फैकल्टी टेबल और बाकी टेबल्स होंगी, उनमें क्या एट्रीब्यूट होंगे और उनका क्या एक्सेस पाथ है, सो दैट कंपाइलर ये कंफर्म करेगा कि जो डेटा रिक्वेस्टेड है वो किस एक्सेस पाथ में स्टोर्ड है, क्योंकि हार्ड ड्राइव में तो कोई एक्सेस अरेंजमेंट होगा ना इसका, एक्सेस पाथ मतलब कहां पर एक्चुअली में वो स्टोर्ड है। So basically whenever you submit a query, it will go to the compiler. Compiler check करेगा सिंटैक्स ठीक है, कोई प्रोसेस चेक करेगा कि जो डेटा रिक्वेस्टेड है वो डेटा इंस्टेंस डेटाबेस में है भी नहीं, अगर है तो कहां पर है। एक बार वो स्पॉट हो गया, you can directly fetch that data and while coming back you can transform the data, right? उसके बाद कंपाइलर के पास भेज कर उसको यूजर को सबमिट कर सकते हो। So we are having this simple, so this is the one simple implementation of that कि इस तरीके से होता होगा। ये थोड़ा और ज्यादा डिटेल में है, maybe in the 6th lecture we will be discussing the elements of DBMS। अब इसी 3 लेयर स्कीमा को आपको ध्यान में इंप्रेशन में रखना है, जब भी हम डेटाबेस सिस्टम की बात करेंगे, it always have this impression from this 3 layer schema, external, conceptual, internal, right? और ये जो सेपरेशन है, this dashed line will have some meaning। ऐसा नहीं है कि केवल मैंने आपको अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए इसको ड्रॉ कर दिया, लाइंस डैश कर दिया, सेपरेशन कर दिया, नहीं, इट इज हैविंग सम मीनिंग। अब मीनिंग क्या है उसका? वो ये है कि नेचुरली वी आर हैविंग डिफरेंट रिप्रेजेंटेशन फॉर डेटा एट दिस लेवल। हियर वी आर हैविंग GUIs व्यूज, जिसमें डेटा जो आपका रिट्रीव हुआ वो प्लॉट हो जाएगा, विजुअल हो जाएगा, एंड वी आर हैविंग GUI स्क्रीन्स टू राइट अ क्वेरी, टाइप एन इंस्ट्रक्शन, टाइप एन यूजर एक्शन। अगर उसके बाद नीचे आए तो यहाँ वी आर हैविंग दिस कंपाइलर एंड क्वेरी प्रोसेसर प्रेजेंटेशन, जो कि उसी क्वेरी को, उसी एक्शन को जो ऊपर सबमिट हुआ है, will transform into something and they will have different representation at this layer, we have different representation at this layer। ये बार-बार रिपीट हो रहा है, but it's important to understand that why we are having these 3 separation, these 3 representation of the same data, same query, something। So one single query flows to the 2 transformations and same data which is kept here will go through this original form to one transformation and to second। Basically 2 transformations we have, right? So we have this arrangement। now ऐसा तो है नहीं कि डेटाबेस जो है वो हमेशा ही स्टैटिक फॉर्म में रहेगा। कभी आप उसका हार्ड ड्राइव सर्वर चेंज करेंगे, कभी आप कंपाइलर अपग्रेड करेंगे, कोई दूसरा अपग्रेड होगा, कभी आप GUI चेंज करना चाहेंगे, right? So whenever you want to perform some change on what? Change on schema, change on schema, not on data, right? So that's why it is important। Schema is nothing but it is the representation of data। डेटा कैसे आप उस डेटा को उस लेवल पे यहाँ पर कैसे रखोगे, उसके बाद जब यहाँ पर आएगा सेकेंड लेयर पे, so what is the rules defined to transform the data, वो इस लेयर में किस फॉर्म में दिखेगा, किस फॉर्म में रहेगा। जब आप यहाँ से ऊपर जाएंगे तो उसका ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होगा, चेंज होगा। So schema is basically defining the representation of a data at certain layer, right? और डेटा तो वही है जो यहाँ स्टोर है, ट्रांसफॉर्म होकर यहाँ पे नेक्स्ट फॉर्म में आ गया। तो आई थिंक आपने कंसेप्ट सुना होगा, देयर इज कंसेप्ट ऑफ हैशिंग। सो व्हेनेवर वी यूज समथिंग, सम हैश फंक्शन, it never affects the actual value, it only maps the location of data to a new location। तो ये वैसे कुछ है कि आप जो डेटा है, डेटा वैल्यू है, उसको अफेक्ट नहीं कर रहे, यू आर हैविंग द डिफरेंट स्कीमा फॉर डिफरेंट वैल्यूज, राइट? That's one part। So now schema, what is the role of independence here? So we have said that कि कोई जरूरत हो सकती है कि आप उसको GUI चेंज करें, कल इसका हार्ड ड्राइव सर्वर चेंज करें, सर्वर्स ऐड करें, जो भी एक्सपेंशन, यहाँ भी कुछ एक्सपेंशन चेंजेस हो सकते हैं, यहाँ पर भी चेंजेस हो, राइट? तो आप कह रहे हैं कि तीनों लेयर्स एक दूसरे से अटैच्ड हैं, एक दूसरे से कम्युनिकेशन में अटैच्ड हैं, एक दूसरे से ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर में भी अटैच्ड हैं, बट whenever we perform some change at this level, we should be actually not affecting the arrangement at this level, whether this level, right? So basically we are creating some kind of separation between this external view or external schema with this schema, because ये दोनों आपस में इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं, ये एक्सटर्नल तो इससे नहीं इंटरेक्ट कर रहा, एक्सटर्नल स्कीमा का जो मैपिंग है, जो कोरिलेशन है, इट विल बी कंसेप्चुअली only. So whenever we perform something here, it is important to not affect any arrangement inside this layer. It is important to keep this whole portion or maybe bottom portion unaffected, right? And that's what data independence provides you. So data independence is nothing but it is the capacity of database system. It is the capacity of database system to separate the layers. That's one part, and it is the capability of database system to provide you that you can perform changes at this layer without affecting this layer. So you can perform some changes in the middle layer without affecting the arrangements at the bottom layer. So basically, as I have, whenever we perform some changes at the top level, it will not affect the schema at this level. Whenever we perform something here, from change here, it will not affect the schema at this layer as well as this layer, right? So ये चीज तो clear है कि data independence. So basically, independence means separation, like separation of Indians from Britishes. Right? So independence is something. It is basically having some kind of separation between two layers, so that they will not get affected by changes at some layer, right? यहाँ पर कोई चेंज करेंगे तो यहाँ affect नहीं होगा, ना ही उसके schema में होगा, ना ही उसके component में होगा. Though these two layers are basically connected in all ways. चाहे query आए, चाहे data जाए यहाँ से, वो properly smoothly propagate हो रहा up and downward. But whenever we perform something here, it will not affect this basically, you can say to and from communication, neither affect this schema transformation, right? तो basically हम कह रहे हैं इन दोनों में ये चीज हमने कह दिया क्योंकि हमें चाहिए यहाँ पर कोई चीज करें अफेक्ट ना हो. तो क्या तरीका है? How do you implement this bridge? Because the role of these bridges will be important. Bridge means वो interfacing जो कहते हैं ना हम कि okay, अगर सॉफ्टवेयर में दो मॉड्यूल हैं तो there will be some kind of interfaces कि एक मॉड्यूल दूसरे मॉड्यूल को वैल्यूज इंटरफेस करेगा. So there this role of interface, I think it is again an important concept. Interface को आप बाद में पढ़ेंगे, सॉफ्टवेयर में पढ़ेंगे, उसमें क्या रोल होता है. Designing interface is also one of the critical tasks and critical job. So whenever we have these kind of bridges through which the data will be going through in and out from one layer to other layer, and these layers are, in the case of database system, these points, these bridges are referred as mappings, right? Mappings. Right. So mapping is पहले impression के लिए आप समझ सकते हो. Mapping is somewhere analogous or equivalent to this hashing thing. जो मैं कह रहा था कि एक आप hash function define करते हैं और आप directly map कर देते हैं basically दो domain of values को. You can easily map the values of two domains by using some kind of hash function. So similarly, we have to define some mapping between these two layers, these two schemas, so that whenever we perform some changes at this level, external schema will not affect the schema at this level. So जो ये बहुत छोटी सी चीज है जो आपको ये फैसिलिटी बिल्ड करनी है, ये कैपेबिलिटी बिल्ड करनी है डेटाबेस में. It is in the mapping. कि आपकी टेक्निकल आइडिया है कि आप उसको कैसे अचीव करेंगे कि any change will not affect here, any change will not affect here. So you need to define mappings, right? यहाँ पर तो बहुत इजी होता है क्योंकि आपको क्या करना है, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी आपने डेटाबेस सर्वर है, डेटाबेस सर्वर में जो भी डेटा स्टोर है उस डेटाबेस इंस्टेंस का, डेटाबेस टेबल का, डेटाबेस वैल्यू का, एट्रीब्यूट का आपने एक्सेस पाथ यहाँ डिफाइन कर रखा है। So defining access path itself is a kind of defining mapping. यहाँ पर जो टेबल है उसकी मैपिंग फिजिकल हार्ड ड्राइव में या सर्वर में क्या है यहाँ ऑलरेडी डिफाइन है. So you should be talking about the mapping at this level, which is little difficult to design, right? So I hope it is clear that what is the role of data independence here, and what is this concept three schemas to do. So we have three schema clearly visible. Now to separate these three schema, we have defined these representation, but actually में ये तीनों स्कीमा सेपरेट होंगे इन मैपिंग से. यहाँ पर एक मैपिंग होगी between external and logical. There is this mapping defined here, which separates conceptual logical with internal schema, right? So now I can remove this because the separation between two schema is defined and controlled by these mappings. Mapping defined at this point, right? And these mappings are very important. So this mapping is referred as a external or conceptual, something like that. So because it is between these two schema, so it is referred as one type of mapping, and this mapping is between these two, so it is again referred as a second type of mapping. So this is referred as a physical data dependence, right? Because this mapping between conceptual and logical with internal will gives you the independence, right? Independence between these two views of these two schema, and this mapping, which is referred as a logical data independence, right? So we have one physical, one logical. So we have two types of, because we are having three layers, and between each two subsequent layers there are some kind of mapping or some kind of separation available, right? And this separation is achieved by mapping. So whenever someone asks that how data independence is implemented, so you can easily say data independence is implemented by using some kind of mapping, right? So जिन लोगों को abstraction के बारे में clearly idea है कि what is the objective of abstraction, what is abstraction, that is one part. What is the objective of abstraction is another part, right? So objective of abstraction is somewhere similar to the objective of data independence, separating the details of two levels. Details means representation or the something which is kept. So we are separating the details or representation of two layers, right? So data independence or abstraction का जो objective है वो similar है, but in case of abstraction we used to replace or we used to provide the alternate details. कैसे होगा? जैसे आपके पास एक पैराग्राफ है, उसका टाइटल लिखते हैं, right? So writing a title or defining a title for a paragraph is equivalent to abstraction process. आप उसमें क्या करते हैं, बहुत सारा डिटेल पढ़ते हैं, टेक्स्ट पढ़ते हैं और एक बार एक टेक्स्ट से उसको रिप्लेस करते हैं. That text, we assume that text reflects or represents this whole text written within it, right? So basically what we do, we not hide actually, we somewhere you can say we summarize this 100-word text into one single term, and we assume that this 100-word paragraph and this one single term are equivalent. They are equivalent in some way, right? तो इसका हमने टिपिकल एग्जांपल ले लिया था कि जैसे आपका रोल नंबर है और आपकी बेसिक कोई डिटेल्स हैं. So this roll number thing is referring to you maybe within the college boundary, and the basic details of you like first name and all, these are also referring to you. So we are referring to the same individual by having two different representation, right? But roll number is more abstract, right? But इसमें ये होता है कि whenever we define some kind of abstraction, it will have some limitations. तो जब आप abstraction में कोई चीज डिफाइन करते हैं तो उसकी एक लिमिटेशन है टाइम से। जैसे हमने एग्जांपल लिया था कि आपको रोल नंबर 4 साल निकली वाले से व्हेनेवर वी जनरेट समथिंग through abstraction, it will have two limits primarily. First limit is on time, like for certain time it will be valid, and second limitation is naturally in real life or real world it will have geographical limitation कि आपका रोल नंबर 4 साल के लिए और कॉलेज की लिमिट में ही वैलिडिटी है। Similarly, whenever we talk about any kind of abstraction, it will have some limits, right? So उसको नहीं जाते। So abstraction is something which requires the generation of new transformed value। जैसे हम बहुत सारी डिटेल यूज करके आपको रोल नंबर जनरेट करते हैं, बहुत सारा पैराग्राफ पढ़ के एक टाइटल जनरेट करते हैं। So there we need to have this equivalent alternative representation, but in case of data independence we are not transforming this whole representation, we are having arrangement to represent the data, right? Although वैसे तो आप कहेंगे कि सर मैंने यहाँ से एक्शन स्टार्ट किया, क्वेरी को पोस्ट किया, क्वेरी ट्रांसफॉर्म किया और क्वेरी को फिर हमने यूज किया ट्रीट किया, बट वी आर नॉट चेंजिंग द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट, राइट? ये हमने मशीन्स को सूटेबिलिटी के लिए बना दिया है। सेम क्वेरी यहाँ से पॉपुलेट होती है, उसको हमने इस लेवल पे जो भी कंपोनेंट बेस्ड हैं उनको इजीली प्रोसेस करने के लिए, इजीली बेसिकली इंटरप्रेट करने के लिए हमने क्वेरी को ट्रांसफॉर्म किया है, राइट? We have not reduced the size of detailing, जबकि abstraction में क्या हुआ कि हमेशा आपको जो size of detailing है वो भी reduce होगी। बहुत सारे details होते हैं, हमने देखा ना 100 words होंगे, उसके बाद उसको आप single 1 or words or 2 words 3 words एक statement में summarize करते हैं। So the size of representation, size of data is also reduced in case of abstraction, but in case of data independence or in case of this whole arrangement, we are not reducing the size of something, हम उसको सिंपल ट्रांसफॉर्म कर रहे हैं डिफरेंट रिप्रेजेंटेशन में, सो दैट इट कैन इजीली रीडेबल बाय द इंटरमीडिएट कंटेंट कंपोनेंट्स, एंड जब ऊपर जाएंगे आप डेटा लेके तो डेटा को भी आप उस फॉर्म में करते जाएंगे कि वो ऊपर रीडेबल है। दैट्स इट, वी आर नॉट बेसिकली कंप्रेसिंग और रिड्यूसिंग साइज इन दिस सिचुएशन, राइट? सो आई थिंक वी आर नाउ क्लोजिंग because it is getting 10:30. So I hope this concept is clear to you. Now I am going back to the sheet, right? Okay, so I think I am clear to you while discussing this concept. I hope it is clear to you now. You can enable your video or audio and confirm and ask if you have any doubt on this concept, right? Because in your basic textbook, or maybe if you post a simple query in the Google and ask what is data independence, right? Then you will be able to see a proper 3-layer architecture. So let me replace first. Okay, so by simple user query on Google you can find various diagrams which explain data independence, this 3-layer architecture only, right? So do you have any question right now? Confirm.